And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to us something called deen over 1,400 years ago. And He did it in total completion. And Allah said about it in the Quran, A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim, Al-yawmul akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum Islam ad-dina. Most of you know this much better than me. But the English translation is what we want to talk about today. Because very frequently people use the wrong words or words that are not strong enough to convey the correct message. And Allah talks about this deen when He says, on this day have I perfected for you your deen, conferred upon you my biggest ni'mah, ni'mati, and have chosen for you to make aslama, to submit to Allah in Islam. The word deen doesn't mean religion. All the translations say that, but it doesn't mean just that. Religion's too small. And deen is much bigger than this. Deen is your way of life. Today, the word religion conveys a message to somebody. He thinks, oh, this is what you do on Sunday. Huh? If you're a Christian. Or something you do on Saturday, if you're Yahudi, if you're Jewish. It doesn't convey the correct message because deen is for everybody. Everybody has deen. May not be Allah's deen, but everybody has a deen. And Allah talks about, in the deen indallahi al-Islam. The only deen for Allah is what? Islam. The deen is to submit to Allah. Also Allah says, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرُ الْإِسْلَامَ الدِّينَ فَلَا يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Clear? He is saying whoever wants deen other than the deen which He prescribes, he's not going to accept it. You can't make up your deen. Many people make up religions, by the way. They have a brand new religion just getting started right here in New Zealand. It's more of a joke than anything else. They call it the Jedi religion. Yeah. Some high-tech guys that don't want to believe in anything, they just started to come up with this idea called Jedi religion. I see some of you have heard of it. You know what I'm talking about. They have maybe 7,000 people already, this new religion called Jedi. They think that's funny. Many people take religion as a joke today. Allah warns us about this. Not to take the people who are making mockery of our deen, don't take them as your awliya. Very clear. Don't take these people as your intimates, because if you do, they won't fail in taking you away from the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when they want to joke around, you should tell them, look, your way is your way and my way is my way. Even when they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, pay attention. They went to him and offered him a deal. If you guys, meaning the Muslims, you will worship Al-Lat, Wal-Al-Uzza, Al-Manat, their false gods that they had, their idols. You worship that for 1 year, and then we'll worship your God for 1 year. Okay, it's a good deal. Before he can open his mouth, before he makes any comment from himself, look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him to say. Qul. I mean, Allah is telling him, say it. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدتُّمْ لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Clear. Say, oh you who do what? They said disbelieve. Again, I'm going to tell you this word is bigger than that. If you just said disbeliever, you're not conveying a correct message. When Allah says kafir, this is something very heavy. A kafir is not just somebody who doesn't know. Somebody who doesn't know, you might say he doesn't believe, but he doesn't know. But kafir means he knows and he denies. Why? Because the word kafara doesn't just mean disbeliever. It means anything which is covered up. Even Allah makes kufr. You didn't know that? Yeah. When He covers and makes kafara over your itham and masiyah. When Allah covers it, it's called kafara, from the same root. And it's not a bad word unless the person is using it in a bad way. Because it also means, this word kafir, means a farmer, one who digs the ground, plants the seeds, and covers the seeds. In the same way that a farmer covers the seeds is what a person is doing when he becomes kafir. He knows the seeds are there, doesn't he? And he knows he's the one covering the seeds, doesn't he? He made the conscious choice to disbelieve or become kafir. One who covers the truth. The truth is there. The truth never changes. The haqq, la ilaha illallah, is always and doesn't change. Everything else in this universe is changing. You know that. Everything's changing all the time. But haqq never changes. It stays. La ilaha illallah. This is the real deen. The way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the way of Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, peace be upon him, the way of Sulaiman, the way of Dawood, the way of Ezra, the way of Adam, the way of Ibrahim. Name any prophet, peace be upon all of them. Did they or did they not teach the people La ilaha illallah? There's only one God, just worship Him and follow the way. The way, the way, the way. And this is our subject, the way. The deen means the way. And everybody has a way. In the surah I read to you, it says, say, O you who cover up the truth, you kafir, I don't worship what you worship. You don't worship what I worship. I'm never going to worship what you worship. You're never going to worship what I worship. To you, your way, and to me, my way. This can be said to somebody who is mulhid. Mulhid means somebody who doesn't believe anything. He's what? Atheist. You can call him also kafir. And you can also consider one who is atheist the same way. He has a way. He has a life, he does this, he does that. Some might be a vegetarian, he might be, a nice person, he's about environmentalists, and maybe he believes we came from monkeys, whatever, but he has a way. He has a deen. Everybody has a deen, but not everybody has a religion. So this is why I'm saying that this is a word, be careful. When you translate this, let the people know it's a complete way of life. They like to use today as a buzzword in the West, called holistic. Holistic. Have you heard of this? Holistic. Nothing is more holistic than Islam. Not only that, it's totally inclusive. It has everything. In our program last night in Wellington, we talked about this subject. I was surprised because I saw the faces lighting up in the audience. The people, not Muslim, they were like, whoa, oh my God. Just like light bulbs are coming on in their head, thinking about what I was telling them. When I mentioned the details, of course anybody can say, our religion is for all people in all places and all times, and it's all inclusive. You can say that. But then the question will be is, can you prove it? One of the things that I really believe helped me in Islam more than anything else is the fact that Muslims not only accept the challenge of proof, they offer the challenge themselves. Just like Allah does in the Quran. Allah challenges people in the Quran. You don't believe the Quran came from Allah? Allah tells you in the Quran. Bring a book like it, go ahead. He already knows you can't. He tells you in the Quran, if it were from other than Allah. And who's he talking to? Kuffar. Have the kuffar, the unbelievers, not considered, if this was from other than Allah, they would find within it what? Many, many, many contradictions. And nobody can find one. Because Quran is not from human beings, it's from Allah. Amazing? Truly amazing. But again, the people are looking at you like, nah. But watch the challenge. So if you want to tell me you have a deen that's complete, from wherever you got it, maybe you got it from Buddha, maybe you got it from Bush, I don't know where you got it from, but you got something, and you want to tell me about what you have. What'd you prove? Show me something. Show me. Islam is teaching us what to do from the time you're born to the time you die. Yes or no? Child is born, do we know what to do? You call the adhan in the right ear, yes or no? Immediately you know what to do. As they get a little older, you know to shave the head on the 7th day, take the weight of the hair, and give this amount in silver or your precious metal to the poor. You know that. You also know as they get older about circumcision. You know as they get older about the kind of milk from their mother, they need this. You also know when they're born, you put the date in their mouth, you chew the date and give them this. You know all of this. But what's funny is you can prove today you can use the science that they have. Who? The kuffar. The science they have proving Islam. Let me give you one example and let you think about this. Just in this past week, they released some important information the doctors have, to tell us it would be better for people not to be eating every day, because your body needs to rest. So in their report, they told us how many days your body needs to rest. Like how many? 3 days a month. The Prophet ﷺ told us this is one of the kinds of fasting in Islam, 3 days a month. Another is to alternate. Thursday, Monday, Thursday. Can you imagine this? And they're telling us, oh, this is good. But what if we told them, well, we already had it in Islam? Okay, then then it's probably no good anymore. Huh? Yeah, they will do that. Let's think about another one. We know as Muslims, wash your hands. Yes or no? Wash your hands because we do wudu, we make ghusl, we're constantly washing the hands. If you're making wudu, you wash your hands and then you wash your arms later. So the hands are getting a double shot here, being clean. But also you're washing your mouth and your nose. And also you're washing your face. Even your hair, even your feet. Yes or no? How many times a day? As many times as you need wudu, maybe you'd like to do it. It's also sunnah to do it before every salah. If you want to, you can, and you get more ajr. Yes or no? So Muslims are in there in the water all the time, washing, yes. And now they want to tell us with their science. Guess what? It would be better for people, healthy, only about health, if they will wash their hands before they eat. We've already been doing that how long? 1400 years? They want to tell us that it's better that when they go to the bathroom to be real careful not to get any of the stuff on you. Huh? But they're going to use paper and get that all over everything. Muslims been taught 1400 years ago, use water, clean yourself properly, then wash your hands really good. Huh? And always eat with your right hand and always clean yourself with the left. Now when I said that part last night, there was one guy in the audience, he started laughing. Oh, that sounded backward. I said, eat with your right, clean with your left. He went, oh. And then when I started to explain, he froze. He didn't move. And at the end, he was like this, going, wow. Because I came to the point, what happened during you heard about the Black Plague, what they call the Dark Ages of Europe. At that time is when Spain was in its highest level of science. That's when the Muslims were in the best shape. You remember? I don't mean did you remember being there. I mean, do you recall? I'm not that old. But I want you to think about this just for a second and see how this sets. At that time, the Europeans had no knowledge of anything. They really were in the Dark Ages, especially in knowledge. They had no knowledge. They had no universities. They got that idea from Muslims in Spain. Even the black robe that the professors wear came from the professors in the ulama in the universities in Spain. And they still call them ulama today when they graduate. Only they mispronounce it and call them alumni. We didn't know that. We forgot our own deen, didn't we? But what they know today, and they're very proud to tell you, is that people should really wash their hands and get underneath the fingernails and get them really, really clean. This is Sunnah Muhammad ﷺ 1400 years ago. But just do that, and then you can handle people's food. Especially in the fast food places. They have big sign up, wash your hands after the toilet. They want to be sure that, and for sure in the United States, they published it just a couple years ago, how many people are getting hepatitis B which is spread by what? People who go to the bathroom and don't wash their hands, handle your food, you eat it, and you're sick as a dog. Just like that. And they said it, not me. I'm quoting what it said in the article. The people have to learn to wash their hands. We already know that. Do you want to tell us more about our deen? What else would you like to tell us? So one night I'm driving home, coming from a fundraiser, and I'm falling asleep. I can't keep my head up. My daughter reached over, turned the radio on, trying to keep me awake. She turned it up real loud. I heard a voice come out of the radio, and he said, just at the beginning of his sentence, he said, always sit down when you eat or drink. I went, huh? Jamaat Tabligh is in town? Because they're always telling you that. Never stand up when you eat or drink. I'm going, who is this talking? And he began to explain the damage that's caused to the various organs within the body, starting with this tube which goes down to the stomach. And they were talking about something called hiatal hernia, which can be avoided by a person who takes better care of themselves. Don't get too overweight, be careful of your diet, but be sure you sit down when you eat or drink. Your body was not designed to ingest and digest food while you're standing up. Half-hour program, I listened to it all the way home. All about that. And he talked about all the different organs that get messed up and ruptured and damaged, kidneys and bladder, and all the different things he talked about from one thing. One thing. And how about this? When the top embryologist, the one who studies embryos, you know, when babies are first formed, in Toronto, Canada, Dr. Keith Moore, when he heard about Islam, and he heard about the teachings in Islam, he became curious about this, so he accepted a challenge. Then learning from the Arabic of the Quran what was being said, and we have it on our website. You should go and watch. He's saying it with his mouth. He's sitting right there saying, there's no way that anybody 1,400 years ago could have known the intricacies of the formation of the embryo within the uterus. Not without a microscope, not without the high technology we have today, yet the word alaq exactly describes the formation at the point of conception, when the egg attaches itself to the wall of the uterus, and what happens? It forms a blood clot, clings to the wall, and is shaped like a leech. Go to the Mawrid, the Arabic dictionary, and see what it says. 3 things for the word alaq. There's some others, but those 3 things are right there. Something clings, shaped like leech, and blood clot. When? 14 days ago? No. 14 years ago? No. 1,400 years ago, this come to the Quran. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min alaqa. Recite. Don't say read, that's wrong. Say recite, because Quran is recitation, not a reading. Recite in the name of your Lord who created mankind, all of us, from an alaq. It's impossible that anybody could have guessed this. Dr. Keith Moore said it himself. It had to be from God or Allah. That's what he said. We have 6 or 7 different professors, lecturers, doctors and experts in their particular scientific disciplines mentioned on our website. You should go and listen to them, because one of them actually stood there and said, well, it's time for me to say, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu Muhammad Rasulullah. Look at this. What is the deen? The deen is Allah's deen. And the sooner we as Muslims begin to practice the real deen of Islam, the sooner we're going to see success. That's the only thing stopping us from being in the good position Muslims were in 1,000 years ago. We just forgot the deen. If you forget Allah, guess what? But when you remember Allah, in any gathering, He'll remember you in a better gathering. So we ask Allah to make us on this deen the right way, as real Muslims. Forgive us, give us another chance. Ameen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Khatam al-Anbiya. He's the seal of all prophethood. Nobody can claim to be a prophet after him. If they do claim such a thing, then they are denying what Allah said in Quran. I believe you'll find this in chapter 33, verse 40, Surah Al-Hasab. It says that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not the father of any of your men, because he only his daughters survived, you know that. Said, but he is the Khatam al-Anbiya. He is the seal of the prophets. That's what he said. No prophet will come after me. He said that. No new deen. But he told us that Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, will return on the last day, and he will be following the same deen that the Prophet ﷺ was on. This is the perfected deen. I've been talking to you about one word from the Quran, the word deen. If you can imagine that there are 6,327 ayat, verses of Quran, if you can imagine this, and realize that the few words that I talked about today, deen, I said it has to be way of life, Iqra has to be recite, just a few words like this, how much more must we learn, study, and learn how to communicate this message to the people so they can better understand. Because when they know the real deen, insha'Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can guide them if they want it. It's up to us. It's up to us. We need to work to share this deen with each other, and share it with our families, and share it with the community, and share it with the world at large. We have to do this. We don't have an option. Because if we don't share it, then what are we all about? What does it say in Surah Al-Imran? كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. Yes? And then it talks about, same verse, وَاللَّهُ, and if the Ahlul Kitab had believed Imana in Allah, it would have been better for them. And from them you find some who are having Iman. Allah said it. But most of them are fasiqun. Fasik, disobedient to Allah. This means, and Allah has said this, and the Prophet ﷺ has said this, the closest to us in belief are the Christians. The closest to us in belief are Christians, yes or no? Yes, they are. Don't they believe one God? I know they say Trinity and so on, but they start with that. They will insist that. They believe in Adam, Eve. They believe that there was a devil that brought them out of the paradise with eating the fruit. They have a wrong idea. They think the devil was an angel. That's a mistake, but that's okay. We can teach them about jinn later. Let's talk to them about Allah. They believe there was somebody named Musa, alayhi salam. They believe somebody named Ibrahim, alayhi salam. They believe in a lot of the same things we believe. But they're closer to us than the Yahudi, because Yahudi do not accept Isa, alayhi salam, as the Messiah. They don't. They do not accept that Jesus is the Messiah. They didn't accept it 2,000 years ago, and they don't accept it today. He is the Messiah, without doubt. He's the Christ. Christ is just a corrupted form of the word Christos, which is a translation of the word Messiah. Messihi. Isa, Jesus, is the Messiah. He's a miracle birth. We know this in the Quran. He did miracles. People were sick, they got well. People had skin disease, they got cured. Person was blind, he could see again. Even a dead person brought back to life. All of these things are mentioned in the Quran. So if they said, well, they have something different than us, show us. What do you have different that we don't have? We have more than you do because we have proof. But Jesus is not God, and He's not a Son of God. And He did not die on the cross for anybody's sins. There isn't anybody going to carry your burden, and I'm not going to carry your burden. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to carry each other's load. It's not going to be that way. Each is going to be responsible for what he did. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسب. Yes or no? It's very clear. I want us to work on the Christians, though, and be good with them, as Prophet ﷺ was good with them, and take care of them, and spend time with them, and sit with them, and open up with them, and share with, get them to come to the masjid, let them see. Don't try to convert them. That's up to Allah. If He wants somebody to be anything other than what they are, then that's up to Allah. But at least tell them the truth. And by the way, before I leave this minbar right here, I promised myself something that I would do in New Zealand. And if you don't like it, don't worry, I didn't do it for you anyway. I'm doing this for Allah. I want to mention what Allah mentioned in Surah Baqarah. He tells us, I think you'll find it in ayah 274, 276 in Baqarah. He declares harb. Be apprised of harb. Harb means what? War. Allah is declaring war on some people. And He said, and war from His messenger. Don't come and say, oh, I love the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then you go do this thing mentioned in this ayah because Prophet is declaring war on you too. What is the thing I'm talking about? What am I talking about? Yes, exactly. And He sallallahu alayhi wasallam told us in a beautiful hadith. This hadith is in, you're going to find this hadith in Sahih Bukhari. Inshallah. You look for it and you're going to be surprised when you read what it says. I think it's in volume 6, hadith number 494b. Check it out. I might make mistakes. I do that all the time. But in this hadith, He's talking about something that you should be very careful about. That there's going to be people who's going to come and make fatwa against what Allah has ordered. People will be saying it's okay for men to wear silk. People will say it's okay for men to wear gold. They will say it's okay for alcohol. They will say it is okay for musical instruments. Did you hear that? This is what He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But brothers, we know also people have made fatwa against the very ayah talking about this riba. I heard about one, I just came from the Caribbean, by the way. I was over there for a big tour that we did. One person told them, he claimed he's alim, he claimed he's imam, and he told the people in this one island, don't worry about riba, you can go to the bank and borrow any money, it's okay. I give you my fatwa, and if there's any punishment, I'll take it on my back on the Day of Judgment. Don't worry, I'll take it for anybody. Go ahead. This, with the statement alone that he made at the end should make you wake up and go, A'udhu Billah. Not only I don't take fatwa from this guy, I don't even want him to show me to make wudu. In fact, I don't want to stand next to him in the salah, maybe lightning's going to hit him. You talk like this, you're going to take other people's sins. This is not even in our aqidah. But he said it. And of course, those who want to do it immediately ran out and went to the bank and played the game. But those who were guided by Allah said, no, that scares me even more. I'll just stay in a rent house. I've owned real estate more than you can imagine. I have nothing in real estate now. And I'm more happy today than I ever was before. You know why? Because I will need my real estate in the Jannah. That's what I need. Now, if you don't like what I just said, make dua for me that I can deliver it in a nicer way. But I'm still going to say it. I'm still going to say it because Allah said it. And Allah said this too in the Quran, very clear. It's in Surah Al-Isra, a beautiful surah, chapter 17 of Quran. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقِّ. And say, the truth has come, and it will destroy the falsehood. Verily, the truth always destroys this battle, this falsehood.
دستورنا القرآن وديننا الإسلام أركانه الجليلة دعائم الفضيلة وهي الشهادتان كعيدة الإيمان والصوم والصلاة وحج والزكاة